For some, payback is what drives them.
Christian spent his entire career chasing that World Heavyweight Championship, and when he finally captured that title, you took it away from him. As his best friend, I will exact revenge on you myself.
For others, payback consumes them.
4 months ago, you stabbed me in the back for personal glory. This Sunday, I'll return the favor 1,000 times over. If you step in the ring with me, you're throwing your career away. You want a piece of the big guy? Well, it's feeding time, and the big guy's hungry.
Payback.
What's up, YouTube? This is Mouthwas97 and welcome to episode number 80 of my WWE 2K15 Universe Mode, and I hope you are excited for this one because it is the Payback Pay-Per-View here in the series, and we're kicking this epic pay-per-view off with the Tag Team Championship title match between the two men making their way down to ringside, the current champions, the Ascension, the two men who defeated and conquered the Wyatt family's tag team title reign last month at the Over the Limit pay-per-view. And they're going to be taking on the Usos here tonight. So hopefully these four men can start off this pay-per-view with a bang, get the crowd absolutely on fire for this one, because this is going to be a big one. We've got 9 matches in total for this pay-per-view, and, well, that's certainly more than the typical 7 that we tend to showcase here. This is by far the biggest pay-per-view in terms of matches thus far in the series, and hopefully, in terms of quality, we can also shatter the boundaries that have been set thus far in the series. But as I was saying, we're kicking this one off with tag team action as the Usos make their way down to ringside. Not sporting the face paint tonight, which is, you know, a bit of a throwback sort of look here tonight at Payback. Normally, at least for the past several months, we've seen the Usos sport that war paint, so to speak, but tonight, almost a bit of a throwback look as they come down to the ring without it. We'll see if that has any sort of mental sort of change up. Are they going at this matchup with a different sort of strategy in mind? But before we get into this match, I want to let you guys know, as always, that down in the description below, we have all the match times, all the matches laid out down there. So say perhaps you want to skip ahead to the Corey Graves Open Challenge, that'll be down there, or maybe you want to skip ahead to one of the main events. Hey, I mean, I'd prefer you watch the whole pay-per-view if you can, but maybe you don't have the time, you just kind of want to see what's going on in the main event. Well, that'll be down there as well. So just letting you guys know, as always, you know, we want to get that out of the way before the pay-per-view gets too far, so that way, for those of you who might not have the time to see the whole pay-per-view, you want to skip ahead to a certain match, you're looking forward to something that you just can't wait, you want to go ahead and watch that match first. Well, by all means, it's down there in the description. You may do as you like. But now we're going to get into the action. As we can see, Victor is starting this one off against Jey Uso. And right off the bat, Jey Uso with a flying forearm as he takes down Victor. Of course, Connor over there on the apron, as well as Jimmy Uso. The Ascension, like I said, they defeated the Wyatt family last month at the Over the Limit pay-per-view. And the Wyatt family, they held the tag team titles for 192 days. Nobody could get those titles off of them. And then the Ascension, while they debut, they just rise up through the ranks in the tag team division like that. In the blink of an eye, they're #1 contenders, and they're tag team champions. I mean, the Ascension, they've made such a grand impact here in just their first 2 months since they debuted. By far, the fastest rising tag team ever to Universe Mode to date. As we can see right now, Victor gaining the upper hand on Jey Uso as he punches him. And now Jey Uso drops down. Oh, a slingshot right there into the bottom rope. Just looking to try to just take the wind out of Jey Uso. And that's a smart strategy by Victor. When you have the Usos, who are a high-flying tag team, they like to have a fast-paced style. You definitely want to try to slow them down. As now Connor tagged into the matchup. And right off the bat, we can see the arms of Jey Uso getting worked down here. A nice scoop slam there from Connor as he locked up the arm, dropping Jey right on the arm, and now slamming it into the mat right there. So right off the bat, targeting a body part, yet another good strategy. And look at this. Connor, look at the strength with the power bomb right there. And this is also this is part of those basic tag team fundamentals. You want to isolate your opponent as a scoop slam now. Taking down Jey Uso. Jey Uso being isolated, kept away from his tag team partner, Jimmy here. And now look at Connor. Look at this. From the mat, a deadlift power bomb. As he just slams Jey Uso into the mat. Now goes for the cover. One, but no. Jimmy Uso, he sneaks in to break that one up. Connor not even bothering to hook the leg. That just shows the confidence of the Ascension. I mean, granted, it's well-earned confidence. I mean, they just defeated the Wyatt family, who was seemingly the top team in the division, and now the Ascension seem to have usurped that role, as now Connor again tags in Victor. And we're going to be seeing a lot of tag team moves from this team. Oh, as they, excuse me, I just burped. They slam Jey Uso into the turnbuckle upside down, and that burp just really started making me stutter and stumble over my words. As there's a nice Northern Light suplex from Victor, taking down Jey. And again, Victor back to the arm of Jey Uso. You want to try to limit Jey's offense, and that's not a bad strategy. Try to target a body part. Oh, look at this. Oh, a counter from Jey as he takes Victor down with an arm breaker, so perhaps looking to start wearing down the arm of Victor here. A bit of turnabout's fair play, I suppose, here. As Jey Uso now delivers a kick to the gut of Victor. Now going up to the second rope, looking for a diving headbutt right to the back, almost the side of Victor there. And now Jey makes a tag. Jimmy Uso finally enters this matchup, but Victor trying to shut him down quickly here with a Thez press. And then those vicious right hands right to the skull of Jimmy Uso. Oh, but Jimmy delivers a right hand of his own. And now look at that. A spinning forearm right to the face. And that just dazed Victor. Victor's out on his feet, and Jimmy Uso now looking to go on the offensive with a nice clothesline, taking Victor down there. And now Jimmy, I should say, going to the top rope here. Look at this, a diving corkscrew moonsault, and he hooks the leg on Victor. Could have him here. New tag team champions, perhaps? No, a kick out by Victor at 2. Man, already a close call there for the Ascension. Oh, but Victor back to his feet. Delivers a nice knee to the gut. But now Jimmy counters, delivers a kick of his own, and now monkey flip as he takes down Victor. Jimmy Uso like a house of fire right now. He is just on a roll, and nobody can stop him. Certainly not Victor, as the arms are hooked for the double underhook suplex. And Victor goes down. Jimmy Uso just bringing the fight, bringing the Usos back into this thing. And now Victor back in the corner of the Usos. Tags in Jey. Oh, and look out, Victor. This is going to be trouble. Look at this. An alley-oop into the Samoan drop there. Or not really an alley-oop, more just like an assisted Samoan drop. Just adding more height there. More impact as Jey went for the roll-up attempt. But Victor was able to reach out to that bottom rope, force the break. But now Jey Uso tosses Victor over there into the corner. Could be setting him up for one of his signature maneuvers. Kick to the gut. And Jey Uso, well, he's feeling it right now. Oh, in the crowd, Uso, oh, right into the corner. Shades of his father, Rikishi, right there on that one. Bit of a stink face almost into the corner. But nonetheless, adding some impact behind that one, adding some force to it. Victor doesn't even know where he is. Or maybe he does. Maybe he's trying to reach out for the tag to Connor. But Jimmy Uso not going to allow that to happen. Just managed to get in there before Victor could reach out to find the tag. As now Jimmy, Irish whip there. Victor bouncing off the ropes. Hip toss neck breaker from Jimmy Uso as he takes down Victor. And now it's the Usos who are isolating Victor in this one. Connor just being kept completely out of this matchup. Oh, but Victor tosses Jimmy to the outside to the floor. And perhaps Connor looking to inflict the pain here on Jimmy Uso. Well, now it looks like he's just going to try to get him back inside the ring. And of course, you know, champion's advantage. The tag titles cannot change hands via countout or disqualification. So if it comes down to it, the Ascension, they do have that advantage. Although I'm sure they're going to try to win this matchup by, you know, they want to prove their dominance. They want to pin the Usos, or they want to make one of them tap out. As now Victor, oh, look at this. Looking for that springboard European uppercut to the jaw of Jimmy Uso. And now Connor is tagged into this one. Big bad Connor is in this thing. And Connor, he's certainly the most powerful man in this matchup. And he's looking to just showcase that strength right now with a power bomb again, this time to Jimmy, as he's got him stacked up on his shoulders. 2 count, but Jimmy kicks out at 2. Ooh, close call there for the Usos now, as Connor really has shifted the momentum as it favors the Ascension now. Connor again, power bomb to Jimmy, as Connor just with those vicious power bombs, he's just relentless. Oh, but a counter here from Jimmy as he blocks the knee attempt. Connor, though, strikes back with a kick, and now a running shoulder block. Just throwing his weight right at Jimmy Uso right there. And now Connor, look at this. He's got him up for a flapjack, planting Jimmy Uso face first into the mat. And heck, Jimmy might have even caught a bit of that bottom rope there on the way down. And Connor, well, he's signaling for the end. He's looking to finish him off as he throws him into the corner. And we could be about to see some more of those tag team maneuvers here from Connor and Victor. Victor up to the top rope. Are we going to see a Doomsday Device? That is exactly what we are going to see. Shades of the good old Road Warriors with that Doomsday Device. As the Ascension now, well, they're looking to prove that they are the best tag team, not just in the division today, but the greatest of all time. As they're looking to make an example out of Jimmy Uso here. And look at these tag team maneuvers. This is what you come to expect when the Ascension are in the ring. A nice double shoulder block. Victor now, or I should say Connor, with a big boot taking Jay off the ropes. Jay never even saw it coming. As now Jimmy Uso thrown into the corner. And this is not looking good for the Usos. As Connor makes the tag. Tosses Jimmy into the center of the ring. Oh, and speaking of tag team maneuvers, this is a unique one for them as they connect with the finisher, the Fall of Man. And such devastation, complete annihilation on that one. Into the cover, 2 count. Good night, Usos, because the Ascension have just picked up the victory here tonight. What a tag team matchup that was between these two tag teams. Great matchup to kick off the pay-per-view. As we see right there with that corkscrew moonsault. Thought perhaps we were going to see new tag team champions. But Victor at the last second managed to get the shoulder off the mat. And of course, this is, by this point, I mean, we just see, once the Ascension start busting out those tag team moves, I mean, it's really tough to try to make a comeback. As you can see here, boom, double shoulder block. And, well, I mean, by that point, Connor even delivering a big boot to one of the Usos for good measure. He managed to get back up onto the apron, but following the Fall of Man, Victor just made sure that he was not going to come in and break up that pinfall. As we tend to see a lot of tag teams try to do, they'll sneak back in the ring, try to break up the pinfall, prevent the match from ending. But Victor, you know, he caught Jey Uso off guard and was not going to allow Jey to come in there and save Jimmy from the pinfall that was about to take place. As the Ascension, they reign supreme once again here tonight as they retain their tag team titles. And now we can move on to the second matchup of the evening, the second of our 9 matches this evening. Yes, this is a big pay-per-view event. pulling out all the stops for this one. Although hopefully, like I said earlier, hopefully the match quality is going to improve as well. Not only just, you know, numbers game. Oh, we've got more matches, so by default, it's going to be a good pay-per-view. We're not trying to rely on that. We're looking to make this pay-per-view as epic as possible. As we can see now, a matchup between, well, I mean, we saw the powerhouse that was the Ascension earlier on, but now we're going to see a true battle of powerhouses as Monday Night Raw's very own Ryback is set to go one-on-one with another giant, Rusev, the Bulgarian brute, the super athlete. And well, Victor, I'm still focusing on that tag team matchup that just took place. Rusev, he has certainly painted a target on Ryback's back in recent weeks. I mean, Ryback, of course. Well, let's talk with Rusev first. I mean, Rusev, he's new to the roster. He's looking to go after the top dog on Raw, try to take out one of Raw's biggest superstars. And I mean, when you've got a superstar, a man who is the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion in Universe Mode to date, Ryback, he held that title for almost 200 days. And certainly that has garnered him a reputation of being one of the greatest in Universe Mode thus far. Although since coming over to Raw, he hasn't quite been able to build himself up into World Heavyweight Championship contention after he lost the Intercontinental title, lost the rematch at Extreme Rules as well to Titus O'Neil. Ryback, he has to do something to get himself back on the winning track, and he's done that thus far since coming to Raw, but now he's just met with this roadblock that is Rusev. And Rusev, of course, making his debut. He can't afford the loss tonight either. Both of these men, they're looking to put it all on the line here tonight because Rusev, he's still new to the roster, so he doesn't want to give up a loss against anybody. And then Ryback as well. He's still pretty new to the roster, although not... I mean, Rusev making his debut, Ryback being drafted over from SmackDown, so Rusev and Ryback both need a win tonight. And I don't know who exactly to say would be more desperate. I would have to say Ryback would be the more desperate of needing a win here tonight, as Ryback, since he won the Intercontinental Championship back at SummerSlam of last year, Ryback's goal has been to reach the World Heavyweight Championship. He wants to win it. He wants to win it all, but of course you can't just lose the Intercontinental Championship and receive a title match for a world title. You have to do something to get yourself there. You have to earn it. You have to build yourself back up. And that's currently where Ryback is in. That's the situation he's in. He's in a rebuilding process, and thus he cannot really... I'd have to say he'd be more desperate for a victory tonight, especially after coming off not only a loss at Extreme Rules, but a loss at WrestleMania as well. As we can see now, Ryback picking Rusev down, or picking him up, slamming him down with a spine buster. And now Ryback, oh, you gotta be kidding me. He can't do that to Rusev. A powerbomb. A deadlift powerbomb from the mat there. And well, I mean, Connor, that was certainly an impressive feat we saw last matchup. But now Ryback able to lift a 300+ pound Rusev off the mats for a powerbomb. Just shows Ryback's power, the strength he possesses. And now a belly-to-belly suplex to Rusev. But Rusev back to his feet, rakes the eyes of Ryback here. Of course, Rusev, he's going to go to any means necessary to win this match tonight as he slams Ryback off the turnbuckle. And it's going to be interesting to see how this match plays out because we have two... whoa! Ryback able to counter the clothesline attempt from Rusev, toss him to the outside. This matchup really has turned into an all-out brawl as this has progressed. I mean, this is now the second time the match has been taken out to the floor. These two men are just going at each other. Just vicious battle here between these two men at the moment. Ryback backed against the barricade. Rusev with these bare-knuckle strikes to the face. But this will be an interesting matchup to see how it plays out. We have two powerhouses in the ring here. Rusev, of course, as we've seen, he has some speed to him as well. He can fly around that ring. It's just going to be a bit interesting to see how this plays out. These two juggernauts going at it head-to-head. I mean, neither of these men have anything to lose, and they have everything to gain from a match like this. There's a back body drop there from Rusev. As you can see, Rusev, it looks like this is starting to tire him out a little bit. He has, you know, taken some damage, inflicted some punishment as well. Obviously, when you have more of a powerhouse superstar, they're not going to have the same cardio ability as, say, a Seth Rollins or a Dean Ambrose, superstars who are more like cruiserweights. They fly around the ring. They're more to using their speed, their more high-flying ability. These men, no, they don't pull out kind of tricks like that. It's not too often we'll see Rusev or Ryback go to the top rope, but often we'll see them, you know, just try to out-muscle their opponents. As we see now, cover from Rusev, 2 count, but Ryback kicks out at 2. Close call for Ryback there. As you can see, Rusev has certainly gained the upper hand at this point in time. Oh, but look at Ryback here. Oh, a military press as he slams him down to the mat, and now just driving the elbows into the shoulders of Rusev right now. And Ryback, you can see now, just with these powerful strikes, these grapples here, as he just slams Rusev down again with a spine buster. Ryback, he's no nonsense in this type of environment. He'll just go straight at you, right at you. Very Smash Mouth style here. Maybe that's not exactly the word to describe it, but he certainly is an aggressive one, and he's got the muscle to back it up. Rusev again now going for the cover off the headbutt to the shoulder, and again a kick out by Ryback at 2. Rusev, though, he does have both of these men definitely have some explosive moves in their arsenal. As you can see, Ryback with the meat hook clothesline, devastating move there. And then Rusev with that devastating super kick. Both men can just catch you out of nowhere with those huge strikes. So you always gotta be on your toes when these two are in the ring, especially when they're competing against each other. As again, Ryback thrust into the corner. Now an elbow to the back of the head from Rusev. And again, Rusev elbow to the back of the head of Ryback. Goes for the cover yet again. Doesn't hook the leg, though. And no, again, a kick out by Ryback. And perhaps Rusev, if he would be hooking the leg, just forcing Ryback to expend that little just extra tidbit of energy. It adds up. It might not seem like a lot, but it adds up. You force your opponent to expend more energy. Although Rusev, he is being smart here, going for these frequent pinfall covers. As the ref, well, it seemed like he caught a glancing blow from Ryback, but he's back to his feet. It was only just a touch, but it was enough to knock the ref down. Oh, and Ryback with the meat hook clothesline, and that could knock Rusev's lights out. Ryback, you can see he's a bit out on his feet, but he goes for the cover nonetheless. 2 counts, and no, a kick out by Rusev. Oof. Talk about a close call there. I thought for sure Ryback would have had him, but Rusev keeps himself alive. Open a counter here from Rusev, and he slams Ryback down with a nice arm breaker there. And Rusev, you can see he likes to use those kicks. He likes to use his feet, and that's something Ryback he has to avoid at all costs. But a vicious chop right there, as he, you know, with the force, the power to drop Rusev on his back. Oh, but again, Rusev with an arm breaker, as he has been targeting the shoulders of Ryback, as he does it yet again with that headbutt. And again, Rusev just using his head, his face as a weapon. That certainly is something Rusev, you got to watch out. He's willing to use his own body just as a weapon. But Ryback, look at this. Ryback, he's got him up on his shoulders. Look at the strength of Ryback. Rusev's in trouble. And shell shock from Ryback. And that could put Rusev away. But Ryback, he's having a little trouble recuperating. He almost can't even make it back to his feet. And now he goes for the cover on Rusev. 1, 2, 3. There it is, folks. Ryback picks up the win over Rusev, and he snaps his pay-per-view losing streak. Big victory there for Ryback. A much-needed win for him. Rusev, unfortunately, it'll be back to the drawing board for him. But Rusev, he's got plenty of time to recover. Whereas Ryback, you know, he desperately wants that World Heavyweight Championship. And Ryback, you know, he can't afford to let it go for too long, or else he'll lose the momentum that he has built himself up as the Intercontinental Champion. And as you can see right there with that shell shock, you know, normally Ryback, he just pops right back up, but not here. Rusev, he inflicted enough damage that Ryback, he even tried to make it back to his feet, but he couldn't do it. He just fell back down into the cover. And, I mean, he got the victory over Rusev, but he certainly has taken a substantial amount of damage here tonight. Perhaps a bit shaky on his feet, but nonetheless, Ryback, he stands tall here tonight. And you can see, well, he's hungry for more. Feed him more. He wants that World Heavyweight Championship. And whether it's Daniel Bryan, Edge, or Dolph Ziggler, you're going to have to keep an eye out for that, man. I'm sure Ryback will be watching our World Heavyweight Championship match later on tonight with very close attention. But now we're going to move on to the Divas Championship matchup this evening. As we can see, our current champion, Paige, making her way down to the ring. Of course, Paige winning the Divas title back at Extreme Rules over Brie Bella. And of course, she defeated Brie Bella in a rematch at Over the Limit. Paige, of course, she had a very quick rise here in Universe Mode. She debuted back in, I believe it was February. It was just following the Royal Rumble. Paige made her debut. And, well, her opponent tonight had made her debut the very same week as Paige. And that is, of course, Tamina Snuka, set to take on Paige here tonight for the Divas title. Both women have traveled similar paths thus far here in the series. Both were undefeated for a good amount of time in Universe Mode, leading up to Extreme Rules, where they faced off to determine who would face Brie Bella in a #1 Contenders match, which, as we all know, Paige won. She defeated Tamina, went on to win the Divas Championship, and, well, since then, Tamina Snuka, she's taken out Summer Rae, AJ Lee. She has targeted some of our top divas at the moment. I mean, Summer Rae, a former Divas champion. AJ Lee, she hasn't ever been Divas champion, but she's always been in the mix. You can't ever count out AJ Lee. But Tamina Snuka, she has just attacked these women, and she's brought the fight to them, done whatever she could to make a name for herself. And then, of course, the Fatal 4-Way that took place a couple weeks ago on Main Event, Tamina Snuka defeating Emma, Naomi, and AJ Lee in that contest to become #1 contender. And this is a matchup that has just been months in the making. Tamina Snuka versus Paige. Let us get this underway. It's for the Divas title. And the crowd, I mean, they're hyped for this one. Tamina, of course, and Paige both debuting in the same week, as I said before. Both traveled similar paths. And this is where it all comes to a conclusion. Will Paige be able to retain her Divas Championship against the domineering Tamina, or will Tamina manage to finally capture that Divas Championship and get a bit of payback at Paige, as it were? Of course, she wants that win back. Tamina Snuka, she's not too happy with Paige after Paige defeated her to become the #1 contender. And now Tamina Snuka, I mean, everybody just sees Tamina as the inferior diva between these two now. Thanks to that matchup, Paige, she got the victory. And that just, I mean, now everybody, they're on the train for Paige. Everybody is supporting Paige. They believe she's the next biggest thing here in Universe Mode. And Tamina Snuka, she feels like that should be her spot. And now she's looking to get that revenge on Paige tonight. Of course, Payback is going to be a big theme here tonight at the event. Of course, the name of the event being Payback. Obviously, anybody could have thought of that. Me with my brilliant commentary here. But nonetheless, we focus back on the matchup as counter from Paige delivers a nice knee to the gut and went for a running clothesline. But Tamina countered it and delivered a powerful strike of her own. And definitely, this is going to be an aggressive contest between these two. I always said that Paige was by far the most aggressive female in this division. Really, that's one thing this division had been lacking since the beginning of the series, was aggression. And I feel like Paige, she has truly brought that aggressiveness in, and she has just taken this division by storm. Nobody has been able to deal with Paige thus far. But I feel as though in the past month, Tamina Snuka has really been stepping up her game. She has really been channeling that aggressiveness that Paige has just been able to use to dominate the other competitors in the division. I feel like Tamina has almost been able to match Paige's aggressiveness, perhaps even surpass it. And that is definitely a result of the loss she took at the hands of Paige. Definitely desperate people do desperate things, and that's when they become more aggressive, much more dangerous. And I truly feel that's what Tamina Snuka has been able to channel. Of course, also a little bit of background in this one. Paige, she has been wrestling for just about her entire life since she was a little girl. And Tamina Snuka, of course, the daughter of the legendary Superfly, Jimmy Snuka. Both of these two women have wrestling in their blood. They have just been, whether you're somebody like Paige, who you've been kind of just born into this, and Tamina Snuka, where obviously she was born into it as well. I mean, both have just grown up with wrestling. Both just personify what I believe this women's division should be all about. It's about the aggressiveness, and it's about competition. That's definitely what these two have brought back into play, is the competition. This is a bit more personal than the Divas title, and I feel like in the past, a lot of our Divas matches have been just kind of more so about the title. There's not really as much of a personal game or personal story behind it, but I feel as though these two have really taken this to a more personal level, and it certainly has shaken things up here in the division to this point. As Paige, well, she hit the Paige turner, but Tamina was not going to be pinned by that. As Tamina back into this thing now. Kick to the back of Paige, as Tamina desperately now needs to turn things around. After that Paige turner, Paige has got the offensive, but Tamina looks like she's starting to turn things back in her favor, start to shift momentum on her side. Nice hip toss there to take down Paige. And Tamina going to the top rope here. She's looking to go high risk. Not something we see too often. Look at this corkscrew moonsault into the cover. Could that put Paige away? 2 count. And no, a kick out by Paige at 2. Of course, Tamina, she does utilize that Superfly splash, but she typically doesn't go to the top rope otherwise. Although that corkscrew moonsault's definitely going to take a lot out of Paige here in this matchup, especially heading towards the future as things progress. And Paige now, look at this, a bit of mind games, and then just throwing, well, obviously there's definitely some mind games for you, just slamming her head into the face of Tamina. That is definitely aggression if I've ever seen it, folks. As Paige now, she's got Tamina up against the ropes, but Tamina counters, and Paige dumped out to the floor. Things are not looking too good right now, as Paige took an ugly fall there. As Tamina picks her back up now. Oh, but Paige, she's trying to get this back in the ring. Although Paige, she does have the champion's advantage. Although I don't really think Paige is the type of person who would try to exploit that. I feel as though Paige, she doesn't want to win by countout or disqualification. She wants to prove that she is the best thing in this division today. And she's up on the top rope here. Look at this, Hurricanrana taking Tamina Snuka down. What a move by Paige, as both women now going high risk in this matchup. Paige, what's she going to do next? Northern Light suplex as she takes Tamina down. And Paige, well, she continues to go on the attack, not going for a pin, continuing to go on the assault, but Tamina counters with a knee to the gut. And now look at this, Samoan drop by Tamina. And now she's going to go for the cover, looking to put Paige away with that move. 2 count, but again, Paige kicks out, she stays alive. And Tamina now just a kick to the back, not even allowing Paige to get any time to recover, to get back to her feet. And now throwing her into the corner here. Spins her around, and look at this, a knee lift right to the gut of Paige. And the Divas champion, she's in trouble at the moment. She's backed into a corner, and Tamina Snuka going to the top rope. Could be looking for that Superfly splash, and she hits it. Hooks the leg on Paige. She could be the new champion. 1, 2, 3. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we have a new WWE Divas champion here being crowned at Payback, and it is Tamina Snuka. Well, heading into this matchup, like I said, Tamina, I thought she was definitely outpacing Paige in terms of aggression, but I still probably would have put my money on Paige. I truly felt like Paige, she's on a run of momentum that no one has been able to top, but Tamina has done just that. And this certainly was a back and forth match between these two, perhaps even a match of the year candidate, at least for the Divas. Although perhaps I think it is one of the better matches we have seen thus far in at least the first half of the year here in Universe Mode. But Tamina, nonetheless, regardless of how good the match was, she is the Divas champion. That's what's going to go down in the record books at the end of the night. Big, big victory here for Tamina. She has finally done it. She has proved the doubters wrong. Those who were supporting Paige, well, perhaps they'll be changing camps after this one, because Tamina Snuka, I I mean, she's going to have a lot coming out of this victory. New Divas champion. Great matchup here at Payback. And next up on the match card here at the Payback Pay-Per-View is a steel cage matchup between brothers as Cody Rhodes makes his way down to the ring, set to take on his brother Goldust. And ultimately, this story has been building for a number of months. Especially, you know, the most notable, I guess, really starting point we could date would be back at Extreme Rules, the #1 contenders match to determine the the Intercontinental Championship #1 contender. Kind of butchered that a little bit. Nonetheless, it was Goldust who won the matchup, but he could have pinned either Darren or Cody. Ultimately, he chose to pin Cody, seeing him as the weaker target. And Cody, that just hasn't set right with him. I mean, you don't turn your back on your brother like that. But I guess, you know, it was a triple threat matchup, every man for himself. Fair enough for Goldust. But then, you know, they tried to put it behind him, tried to work together as a tag team, and it just didn't quite work out. They didn't become #1 contenders in the tournament. Obviously, we know where that went. The Ascension, they defeated the Brotherhood. Obviously, going on to win the tag team titles. We know that whole side of the story. But then, you know, still you could have been either way. You know, Cody and Goldust, they hadn't really gotten much further than that. It hadn't escalated very much. But then, you know, they had that match on SmackDown that was supposed to take place, and Bo Dallas attacked Cody Rhodes from behind. Evidently, he was instructed by Goldust to do so. So Goldust, he not only stabbed his brother in the back, but he had Bo Dallas assault Cody Rhodes before the match. And, of course, Goldust went on to win the matchup. And since then, I mean, Goldust and Bo Dallas have just been, you know, handicapping Cody Rhodes. It's been 2-on-1. The numbers game has just been against Rhodes. But that is why this matchup is set to be a steel cage match, because this way there will be no interference. Nobody can get inside the ring except these two men, Cody Rhodes and Goldust. And the only way to win is by escaping the cage. So there will be no Bo Dallas involved. There won't be any Darren Young, any Titus O'Neil. Nope, it is just Cody Rhodes and Goldust, the two brothers, squaring off perhaps for the final time here at Payback. And we can see these two men are locking up to kick this one off. Just a battle, almost a technical battle here. But as we can see, Goldust, he definitely is the veteran here in this matchup, and he definitely does possess the more veteran instincts that Cody Rhodes would lack. He's got the in-ring experience that would trump Cody Rhodes. Although Cody, I mean, he's had a long journey, a long career here in Universe Mode thus far. One of the originals that has been around since the beginning, which, I mean, not too many. So, I mean, we do have a fair few that have been here since the beginning, but Cody Rhodes definitely is one of the big names that would stand out. He has had his long journey in pursuit of the Intercontinental Championship. Ultimately, it has not come to fruition as of late, but I mean, Goldust, a victory over Goldust tonight. If he could put Goldust behind him, I think that perhaps has been almost setting him back a little bit in both tag team and singles competition. But if he can get Goldust out of his mind, if he can put it behind him, I really think Cody Rhodes will be able to move forward in Universe Mode, perhaps even to one day capture the Intercontinental title, as Goldust now drives the elbow right into the face of Cody Rhodes off that second rope. But now Cody with a side suplex, taking Goldust down, as now rubs that hand across the face. Oh, and now drops the knee right across the nose of Goldust. And Cody Rhodes, that is a vintage move. Oh, he's going for it again, this time off the other rope, and again drops the knee onto the face of Goldust. Cody Rhodes definitely letting his aggressiveness take over here. He's letting his emotions perhaps take control, as he again drops the knee of Goldust, or drops the knee on Goldust. And, you know, the case has almost been, one thing that's kind of considered between these two is Goldust. He is a very successful superstar, a WWE legend, perhaps even a future Hall of Famer. But, I mean, Goldust, he's done a lot to make an impression in the WWE over his career. And Cody Rhodes, he's almost been not only living in the shadow of his father, but living in his brother's shadow as well. Cody Rhodes being the younger brother. You know, a lot of people, whether it's, you know, it might not always be in the most positive light with Goldust, people definitely, I mean, they know who Goldust is. He has done a lot to make a name for himself in his career. And Cody Rhodes, not so much. And perhaps this is a way for Rhodes to step out of his brother and perhaps even his father's shadow, if he can manage to defeat Goldust here tonight in this steel cage matchup. And if he can put aside these personal demons, these family issues he's had with Goldust over the past couple months, if he can get that out of his mind, he, like I said, might be able to move forward in on SmackDown. And perhaps, I mean, Cody Rhodes, he's had a very long journey to the Intercontinental title, and it almost sucks to see that he hadn't got that far. Wait a minute, Alabama Slam, taking down Goldust, and Cody Rhodes, well, he's looking to climb out. He's looking to escape the cage. Perhaps he is. It looks like, yes, he's climbing, although it did definitely take him a while to get started, and Goldust shuts him down. He's not going to let Cody Rhodes get out of here that easily. But heading into WrestleMania, I thought Cody Rhodes would have been one of the favorites to win the Fatal 4-Way. I mean, he had such a long journey to get there, and it wasn't a successful outing for him. But look at this, perhaps going for Crossroads, counter from Goldust. Nice elbow to the skull. But Cody counters into an arm breaker, once again taking Goldust down to the mat. As Cody Rhodes right now, he's got the upper hand. Goldust may have countered his finisher, but Cody Rhodes continues to fight, and he continues to keep up the offense, keep up the onslaught on Goldust. And now look at this counter, though, from Goldust as he takes him down, kick to the back of the leg, and slams him back of the head off the mat. A nice move from Goldust. And now Goldust, well, he's just waiting for Cody Rhodes to get back to his feet, setting him up, setting him in position for something here. As there's a kick to the gut. Vintage Goldust right there with the chop there to the throat. And again, Goldust picks his brother up. Look at this. Perhaps looking to drop him for a suplex, or maybe drop him on his face here. Yep, that's exactly what he does with the reverse suplex. Planting Cody Rhodes right on his face. And now Goldust, look at this. He's setting him up here for that lifting reverse DDT. And he plants Cody into the mat. And Goldust, you can see, he's confident. He thinks he's got this 1-1. He thinks he's got it in the bag. Although Cody Rhodes, he's getting back to his feet. He's bringing himself up there with the ropes. Goldust is climbing. Can he make it out? They're both near the top. Goldust, no! Cody Rhodes pulls him back down. And both men are down now inside the steel cage. But Cody Rhodes, he managed to keep his chances alive here in this matchup. And Cody Rhodes now, he's just waiting for Goldust to get into position for something. Cody could be looking for something big here. There we go, punch to the gut. And again, he's looking for the Alabama Slam. And he takes Goldust down again. Once more, slamming Goldust right on the back of his head. And now Goldust, he doesn't know where he is. Cody's on the other side of the ring. Goldust trying to get to his feet. Cody's climbing. Is he going to be able to escape? He's at the top. Cody Rhodes, can he make it? He's up top. Now he just has to climb over and reach both feet down to the floor. Goldust, he's trying to climb out after him. But I don't think he's going to make it in time. No, he does not. Cody Rhodes escapes the steel cage, and he is your winner, ladies and gentlemen. Cody Rhodes, what a battle with his brother here tonight at Payback. And you can see right there in the final moments, Goldust, he tried to make a quick escape, tried to beat Cody to the floor, but it was not to be. Cody Rhodes wins the steel cage match here tonight, and he defeats his inner demons here tonight by defeating his brother Goldust. And I think now at this point, any perhaps comparisons between the two brothers will be put to rest, as Cody, he proves that, well, he can step out of his brother's shadow, and he does have what it takes to beat Goldust. He's not the weaker link in the Brotherhood, and he's not the weakest in the Rhodes family altogether, as he gets the win over Goldust tonight. A big victory, much needed win in the career of Cody Rhodes. But now we have another interesting matchup, to say the least, as we have this man, the maniacal Corey Graves. And, I mean, Corey Graves, he has just been relentless since his debut. I mean, he attacked Adrian Neville at Over the Limit, sidelining him. We still haven't seen Adrian Neville. Then he attacked Sami Zayn on main event. We haven't seen him since. I mean, Justin Gabriel, Rey Mysterio, Corey Graves has just been taking down whoever steps in his path. And, I mean, who can stop Corey Graves? He's issued an open challenge here tonight. Now we just have to wait to find out who is going to accept the challenge. Who is going to face Corey Graves? Who's going to be willing to step up to face this man? I mean, will anybody accept the challenge? I mean, I don't know. Corey Graves, he might just walk out here tonight and get a victory by default. But you can see Corey Graves tattooed on his knuckles the words "stay down." And that's what a lot of his opponents have done. They've just stayed down because Corey Graves, if you get back up, Corey Graves is going to just keep beating you down until you stay down. He's relentless. So now let's find out who is going to be Corey Graves' opponent here tonight. Well, the crowd, they're excited. They're waiting to find out who's it going to be. Corey Graves waiting in the ring. The crowd, they're on their feet in anticipation. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I know that music. And Corey Graves could be in for a rude awakening here tonight, as this man, Sami Zayn, well, it looks like he's up to accept the challenge here tonight, making his pay-per-view debut alongside Graves. And this is interesting the way this has played out, because back in episode 35, the original NXT showcase, where prior to the NXT TakeOver event, we saw Sami Zayn and Corey Graves compete against one another. Sami Zayn, the then NXT champion, and now at this point they're both on the main roster. And Sami Zayn now here tonight, he's looking to thwart Corey Graves' rise to the top here on SmackDown here at Payback. This open challenge that Graves issued. Perhaps Graves, well, I mean, he might be doubting himself at this point, but I highly doubt that. Graves, he was the one who attacked Sami Zayn to begin with. He's the one who started this fight. I'm sure he has no problem fighting Sami Zayn yet again, as both men making their pay-per-view debut tonight. And Sami Zayn, certainly, he's here for payback. Corey Graves, though, I mean, he's already beaten Sami Zayn once, beaten him to a pulp. I'm sure he has no problem doing that again tonight. And, well, perhaps this time Sami Zayn will stay down. I mean, obviously, Corey Graves, he didn't finish the job the first time. And, well, tonight, I'm sure he will not be holding anything back. Both men now locking up, struggling for power here in this matchup. Oh, Graves looking to strike, but Sami Zayn shutting him down right there. And now a chop and another chop from Zayn. And a drop kick, sending Corey Graves sprawling out to the floor. And you can clearly see that right off the bat, Sami Zayn has got the upper hand in this matchup. And Corey Graves, well, he's going to take a walk. He's going to give Sami Zayn a bit of time to think, try to recuperate, try to think of a plan here as Graves. Or, you know, also just trying to let Sami Zayn's anger, his frustration, try to get the better of him. Bit of mind games from Graves. A huge kick now to the back of the head of Zayn. And that's a smart strategy from Graves. If you have an opponent who's red hot, all you got to do is just step out of the ring, buy yourself a little bit of time, and if you get lucky, your opponent will be aggressive enough to come after you, and then you lure them right into a trap. Or, if that's not the case, you buy yourself a little bit of time. If your opponent is a bit more level-headed, then you yourself buy yourself some time to think of a plan, to strategize. I mean, you have a full 10 count to use. And I'm sure Corey Graves, he's not going to take a count out or a disqualification here tonight. I mean, he issued this challenge. He's not going to be shown up by Sami Zayn. As Corey Graves now, you can see, throwing Sami Zayn into those steel steps right there. And Sami Zayn, he's not looking too good. Corey Graves now, again, going to throw him into the steps. Corey Graves, I mean, just look at this aggression being shown. And now going after the leg of Sami Zayn right there, just stomping it into the ground on the outside of the ring. Sami Zayn, though, he's going to the top rope. Sami Zayn, he's looking to go high risk. But Corey Graves, oh no, wait, counter now from Zayn. Zayn counters Graves, and a crossbody. Crossbody by Zayn, hooks the leg. 2 count, and no, kick out by Graves. But Sami Zayn, you can see, he is just on the attack here tonight. He's fighting for not only himself, but fighting for Adrian Neville. And I do apologize if I repeated that, but unfortunately for my pre-commentary edits, I screwed up editing this match, so I didn't cut it properly, so I had a dud match that I was just doing commentary for a little while back, so I had to try to fix this. So I do apologize if I repeat anything that I already said, but I kind of lost my place, so apologize for that. But Corey Graves now just choking out Sami Zayn. And Graves, of course, he is aggressive. I think Corey Graves would have fit around well in the Ruthless Aggression era. I mean, this man, he is, I said Ryback earlier was Smash Mouth. It's not quite the word I meant to describe it. But Corey Graves, he is definitely a Smash Mouth superstar. He is in your face. He will go right at you. I mean, he'll tell you that he's going to break your leg, and then he'll do it. He doesn't just talk the talk, he walks the walk. And perhaps he even walks the walk better than anybody. But look at this. Oh, wait, counter. Counter is Zayn now with a Northern Lights suplex into the cover. And a kick out at 1 by Graves. But you can see Sami Zayn, he is just going right after Corey Graves, not showing any signs of hesitation. But that could perhaps be his downfall if he lets his emotions just cloud his judgment. If he lets his emotions take complete control, then Corey Graves, he's going to utilize that. I mean, he is a master manipulator. Maybe not quite the greatest we've ever seen. Swanton bomb by Sami Zayn into the cover now on Graves. 1, 2, but a kick out by Graves. As I was saying, to get back to my point, Graves, he might not be one of the greatest master manipulators. I mean, obviously he is still rather new, rather green. Oh wait, counter, backbreaker by Corey Graves. We'll get back to my point in a little bit, or maybe not. This match could be over. 1, 2, 3. No, kick out by Zayn. Barely a kick out by Zayn. And you can see Corey Graves showing the crowd his knuckles, just, basically saying Sami Zayn, Zayn can end this. He can end all the pain, all the suffering if he just stays down. As Sami Zayn now, look at this. Oh, Zayn with the exploder suplex into the turnbuckle. And that right there, that's a big move by Sami Zayn as he runs off the ropes. And he collided there, almost some hesitation from both men as they collided. Oh, but now Graves looking to capitalize. 2 count, no, not a 2 count. Sami Zayn reverses it. 2 counts, and Graves kicks out at 2. Wow. Wouldn't that have been ironic if Graves' own roll-up attempt, if it cost him the match? There's now a counter again, this time from Zayn. Counter for counter now between these two men. Neither man looking to afford to give an inch. Look at Sami Zayn here. He's got him up. Fisherman Buster. Planting him on the back of his, the top of his shoulders is what I mean to say. If I can get my words out. But as I was trying to say earlier, Corey Graves still fairly new, but I definitely do see potential in Corey Graves as a master manipulator. I mean, he definitely does have the mind games of some of the best in the business. As Sami Zayn, he's just looking to combat those mind games with brute force. 2 counts, and again a kick out. This time off of that fisherman suplex. Sami Zayn hooking both legs there with that one. As now look at this, just the strikes from Zayn as he's got Graves leaning up against those ropes. And a scoop slam into the ropes as he takes down Graves, looking to perhaps even inflict some pain, some damage to the legs of Graves. Definitely turnabout is fair play there. Graves getting a taste of his own medicine as now he can't even make it back to his feet. He's struggling here, but Sami Zayn, well, he's not going to give Graves any time to recover. Sami Zayn, he is out for blood tonight. And look at this, just tossing Graves through the second rope down to the floor. And Sami Zayn, oh my god, Sami Zayn's looking to fly. Sami Zayn over the top rope. Look at that splash by Zayn. Launching himself over the top rope. High speed, high risk, high reward. As Sami Zayn, look at that dive. Look at the height on that one. Sami Zayn just completely taking out Corey Graves. And Graves is out of it right now. Sami Zayn, if he can just get Graves back inside the ring, I mean, he's got this matchup in the bag. But Zayn, it almost looks like he's waiting for Graves to get back to his feet so he can inflict more damage. And he throws him back inside the ring now. As Sami Zayn, oh, a nice chop there. And a boot to the side of the head of Graves. Perhaps even just looking to try to wake him up. Just try to knock some sense into him so that Sami Zayn can give him even more of a beating. Referee up to a 7 count, but Zayn back in the ring now. Up on the top rope. Graves, watch out as Sami Zayn from behind. Drop kick as he takes down Graves. And Sami Zayn, he is just punishing Graves now at this point. Well, he's going for the cover. This could be it. No, not even. Graves, he kicks out and keeps himself alive in this matchup right before a 2 count. Although he's stumbling, he's slow to get back to his feet. I mean, he's trying to not show any weakness. Oh, but now he's stepping outside the ring. He wants to get away from Sami Zayn and maybe even try to take a cheap shot while he's at it, but Zayn's not having it. Oh, but Graves counters a punch, delivers a punch of his own. Sami Zayn now counters. Oh, well, look at this. He's got Graves. Blue Thunder Bomb. Blue Thunder Bomb out to the floor. And Corey Graves, you can see he's out of it right now. Sami Zayn is in complete control of this matchup. He's controlling the direction where this match will go. But it doesn't look like he's looking to pin Graves yet. No, he's going after that announce table. Referee up to a 5 count, but I don't think Sami Zayn is paying the ref any attention. Graves counters and takes him down with that arm breaker. And I don't think either of these men hear the referee's count, as he's up to a count of 7 now. And now we're up to a count of 8, but Graves has got Zayn up on that announce table. I don't think... Oh my god, no, don't do this. Corey Graves just slams Sami Zayn through that announce table. Oh my god, these two men just destroying each other through that announce table. The referee, he's called this matchup off. This ended in a double countout. Graves and Zayn, they just took each other through the table. Warning, the following video contains coarse language. This is a series from 2013, so the filter that I have developed over my commentating career has yet to take effect. Also, if I reference anything that doesn't make any sense in the current day, that is why. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Payback Pay-Per-View. And wow, what a chain of events that was moments ago, as Corey Graves and Sami Zayn just completely were out to destroy each other in that last contest. We had to even take a commercial break. I mean, Zayn and Graves were both stretchered out of here. Wow. I mean, like I said, Payback is a general theme of this pay-per-view, given the name, but I mean, those two men just took it to a whole nother level in that last matchup, if you can even call that a matchup. That was just a straight-up drag-em-out fight. But we've got to move forward here with the pay-per-view, as now we have the Intercontinental Championship grudge match between both former members of the Primetime Players, as Titus O'Neil waiting in the ring. Here comes the challenger, Darren Young. And, well, this matchup has been building for a long, long time. Dating back to, I mean, heck, even, I guess, as far as their tag team sort of, yeah, I can't think of the word, they're, miscommunications, they're almost, this whole sort of, like, personal bitterness has just been kind of building since even Survivor Series, really. I mean, just really the frustrations, whether it was their failures as a tag team, personal disconnections. I mean, it has all been building from there. And I guess more obviously, this whole one-on-one, directing then that anger, that frustration, all of that, the failures, all the pent-up frustration, just directing that at each other, really began back at Elimination Chamber, when Titus O'Neil, he turned his back on Darren Young, broke up the Primetime Players, and then proceeded to beat the living crap out of Darren Young at the Elimination Chamber. And then, I mean, WrestleMania, both in the Fatal 4-Way, which Titus won to become Intercontinental Champion, Darren Young failing to prevent Titus from winning the Intercontinental Championship, as was his goal heading into WrestleMania. That was basically his whole purpose for being in that matchup. He wanted to thwart Titus O'Neil's attempt to become Intercontinental Champion, and he failed. And then, of course, at Extreme Rules, Darren failed to become failed to become #1 contender for the title. As we all know, Goldust won that matchup. We know where that led. But Darren Young finally now, I mean, he's not taking any more crap from management. He's not taking any more crap from Titus O'Neil. Darren, he's taking fate into his own hands. He just basically said, you know what? Screw it. Forget the politics and everything that goes behind this. I want a match with Titus O'Neil. And granted, he had the momentum backing him to get the Intercontinental title shot, but I mean, basically, he just, even if he didn't, I mean, he just brought the fight to Titus O'Neil, took him out on SmackDown, and he inserted himself in this matchup. Darren Young, this was all his own work to get to this point. And now, I mean, it's been a long journey for Darren Young, but hopefully tonight, at least, you know, from what we've seen from Titus O'Neil, he's a sick man. I mean, just to completely turn his back on his own partner, a man who he once considered a friend, the way he did, it was just absolutely despicable. Despicable actions from Titus. And, you know, I know I'm supposed to be an unbiased commentator, but Darren Young, he really has been screwed over in this whole rivalry. I mean, Titus O'Neil, we saw where he went on to become Intercontinental Champion. And how about Darren? Darren has just kind of been left behind in the dust, just festering in his own failures, his own frustrations. And finally, Darren Young, he's fed up with it, and he's out to get his revenge on Titus O'Neil here tonight. And, you know, hopefully for the sake of his career, for the sake of his sanity, I hope that he can, in fact, resurrect his career and beat Titus O'Neil to a bloody pulp here tonight. But as we can see right now, Titus, he did gain the upper hand as the match began. Darren looking to fight back, but counter from Titus as he takes him down with a side Russian leg sweep. But like I was saying in the last matchup with Sami Zayn, Darren Young cannot allow those frustrations to cloud his judgment. Nice backbreaker from Titus, and oh, we could have a victory right here. No, not even a 2 count. Darren Young kicks out. And of course, these two men, they know each other so well. You got to think throughout this matchup we're going to be seeing a lot of counters, a lot of reversals, and, you know, perhaps we might even see some new moves brought out between these two. Obviously, we saw their match at Elimination Chamber definitely tore the house down, as Titus O'Neil and Darren really brought the best out of each other on that night. We could perhaps see the same here tonight, a bit of a repeat tonight at Payback. As Titus O'Neil, you saw we took him down with that slam, but Darren Young now turns the tide back in his favor. Forearm into the corner, now an elbow to the back. Darren Young, look at this now. Got him by the face, just a knee right to the skull of Titus. And like I said, Darren Young, he specializes in, you know, the finer details of a match. It's just the simple things you wouldn't, you know, think twice about. Darren Young, oh, and you can see now he's posing for the crowd. He's asking, you know, obviously the crowd, they don't like Titus O'Neil. They want to see him take a beating tonight. And Darren Young, well, just trying to get the crowd on his side. And, you know, just trying to fire them up, which will fire him up even more and truly drive him even further throughout this matchup. Through all the pain, through all the punishment, Darren Young, he will continue, and hopefully the fans can give him a bit of an assistance in doing so, as Darren Young now, I mean, really, that's what these WWE superstars, what most of these superstars do, is they fight for the people. You know, the crowd, they truly are a driving force throughout their matches, and Darren Young is one of those individuals. Although Titus O'Neil, you know, the crowd, I'm sure it does influence his matches to a degree. I mean, I'm sure he loves to see the crowd get riled up. Although there are others in the WWE who just compete for soul satisfaction. They just compete no matter what the crowd thinks. They don't care if they're cheered or they're booed. And I feel like that's more where Titus O'Neil lies. As you can see, oh, again off the top rope. He was looking to drop perhaps the knee or even the fist to Darren Young's face, but Darren, he countered. He was able to roll out of the way. Now look at this. A flurry of strikes from Darren Young, capped off by that forearm to the face. And Titus O'Neil, well, he went to the well one too many times, and we saw it at Elimination Chamber. That's what cost Darren Young the match. Darren looking for the gut check, but a counter by Titus with the elbow to the face. Oh, look out, Darren. Titus, clash of the Titus connects. And that could do it. Titus O'Neil, you know, I thought for a second he might have sparked his own downfall. Oh, and now look at this. Titus, he's just soaking it all in. Into the cover. 1, 2, damn it. Titus O'Neil retains the Intercontinental Championship. You know, I gotta give credit where credit's due. Titus O'Neil, he is a dominant champion. He certainly was no pushover in that matchup. That was a well-fought, hard-earned victory. Or hard-fought, well-earned victory. There we go. That's how I want to say that. That's the proper way to put it. But I mean, Darren, like I said, I'm supposed to be unbiased, so I'll try to push my personal feelings to the side. But Titus, you gotta respect what the man has accomplished. I mean, you don't have to respect the methods that he has gone to accomplish what he has, but I mean, he's the Intercontinental Champion, for crying out loud. You gotta give the man credit. I can't doubt that. I can't doubt his ability, his success in the ring. I mean, his success, it's tangible. It's right in front of your very eyes. The Intercontinental title he holds around his shoulder for yet another night, yet another month, whatever the case may be, as he defeats his rival, Darren Young, here tonight. We're moving on now to the main event of Raw for this pay-per-view, as it is for the World Heavyweight Championship, and it's a triple threat matchup, baby, as it is Dolph Ziggler, the show-off, making his way down to the ring, and he's going to be taking on not one, but two competitors, two very, very, very deserving challengers here tonight, as we've got not only the Rated R superstar Edge, but we've also got Daniel Bryan, a man who has been on a rise to glory for the course of the past year. Over the past year, Daniel Bryan, he has overcome challenger after challenger, opponent after opponent, and perhaps tonight it could all come to a conclusion if Daniel Bryan could capture his first ever World Championship here in Universe Mode, as would be the case with Edge. And Edge, he certainly has developed a personal history with Dolph Ziggler over this past month, and well, the same can be said for Daniel Bryan, as Edge and Bryan, I mean, I guess the best way to put this is Daniel Bryan was the victim of Edge's assault. He speared Daniel Bryan 4 weeks ago on Raw, and then proceeded to attack Dolph Ziggler. So Daniel Bryan was the first victim of Edge's handiwork. So both of these men, Ziggler and Bryan, here tonight have a personal vendetta against Edge. So it'll be interesting to see if we could perhaps have some sort of an alliance take place between Bryan and Ziggler. Of course, in a triple threat style of matchup, and the same could be said for the Fatal 4-Way set to take place a little bit later on. We could see some temporary alliances, superstars working together to take out a common enemy, and then narrow this triple threat down to a one-on-one matchup between Bryan and Ziggler. That could certainly be the case. And now making his way to the ring is said Rated R superstar, Edge. And Edge, well, tonight he's got a lot on his mind. Not only does he want the World Heavyweight Championship, but he is bearing the burden of his best friend, Christian. Of course, Christian, the former world champion, lost the title to Dolph Ziggler. And, you know, Christian and Edge, they never got that one world title matchup that they have spent their entire careers dreaming of. They made the promise, and it had been broken thanks to Dolph Ziggler's efforts. And Edge here tonight, he's out to try to get some revenge for Christian. And as well as that, he's got his own personal reasons for being here. He wants to be the World Heavyweight Champion, as do all three of these men, Bryan, Ziggler, and Edge. But we're going to find out here tonight who has the strongest will of them all. And there it is, right there, folks. That's what's on the line. That's what's up for grabs in this matchup. The World Heavyweight Championship. Edge, formerly a member of the SmackDown roster. Of course, when Christian was drafted over to Raw, he brought the World Heavyweight Championship with him. And since then, I mean, guys like Edge and Christian, they have seemingly kind of struggled a bit since making the move over to Raw. And perhaps that has been what has given Ziggler the edge, and how Ziggler was able to capture the World Heavyweight Championship. As Ziggler, you know, he's been on Monday Night Raw for his entire career. I mean, ever since this Universe Mode began, Dolph Ziggler has been a Raw man through and through. He has not once been a part of the SmackDown roster. Although Daniel Bryan, he's been on Raw for quite some time, but he originally was also a SmackDown superstar as well. So Daniel Bryan and Edge, you know, they're not really Raw originals, but Dolph Ziggler, he is a Raw original. He started out on Raw, and he has spent his career on Raw. And finally, you know, all his efforts came to fruition. He's the World Heavyweight Champion. But tonight, by far, this is his most difficult challenge to date, defending that World Heavyweight Championship against not just one, but two men at the same time. And certainly, you know, it's enough of a challenge to try to face either one of his opponents in singles action. I mean, we did see that both Edge and Bryan picked up singles victories over Dolph Ziggler throughout this past month. And now Ziggler, he's got to try to defend that title against both of them at the same time. That's certainly going to be easier said than done, as Edge delivers a nice DDT, spiking Dolph Ziggler's face into the mat. Bryan now delivers a knee right to the gut of Edge. Oh, but he was looking for a kick. Edge caught him and went for the big boot. And now it's Bryan with a drop kick to the back of Edge. But now Ziggler taking Bryan down from behind with the backbreaker, neckbreaker combination. And this is what we're going to be seeing throughout this triple threat matchup. We're going to see action fast and furious all over the place. Might even be difficult to cover at times with so much going on at once. Edge dropping Ziggler with a reverse DDT. And now looking to snap the neck there. And the whiplash causing Ziggler's head to bounce off the mat. But you can see right now, I mean, all three of these men are going after each other. So far, no real alliance is taking place. It's just whoever can gain the upper hand over the opponents. As we see, Bryan takes down Ziggler. Edge now looking to get back in the fray. This is what we're going to see happening a lot over the course of these next couple of matches between this one and the Fatal 4-Way later on. And now Edge, elbow to the side of the head, and a leg sweep taking down Daniel Bryan. And now Ziggler's going after Edge as he rockets the Rated R Superstar into the corner and follows it up with a drop kick to the back. And now it appears as though Ziggler and Bryan have both set their sights on Edge. Ziggler drops the elbow right into the heart of Edge. Well, it looks like that alliance didn't last very long. As Ziggler, oh, no, it looks like they're back to double teaming Edge here. Or maybe it's not really double teaming, they just happen to be attacking Edge at the same time. Less of an alliance, more is just a coincidence, I suppose, at this stage. And Ziggler now, DDT to Bryan as he takes him down. Edge back to his feet and delivers a punch to Ziggler now. Bryan stumbling back to his feet as well as Ziggler and Edge continue to go at it. DDT again by Dolph Ziggler, this time to Edge. Oh, and now Ziggler drops an elbow, and he could perhaps be looking for those 10 elbows, 10 consecutive elbows in a row here, as we can see now, 5. He's halfway there, and Edge, he is in a lot of trouble right now. Ziggler just non-stop delivers the 9th elbow, and now looking for the heart stopper. Bam! Right there, Ziggler connects, and could perhaps be looking to go for the cover. Indeed, he does, but Daniel Bryan right there to break that one up. And now Bryan setting his sights on Ziggler with a nice European uppercut, but now Ziggler counters and throws Bryan into the corner. Edge, though, trying to jump Ziggler from behind, back suplex into the cover, but again, Bryan is there to break that one up before too much can go down there. Bryan now delivers the knee to the gut of Edge. Bryan going to the top rope, could be looking high risk here. Look at this double drop. Okay, never mind. He didn't quite connect there with that double drop kick. And now Edge and Ziggler continuing to battle it out here as Bryan makes it back to his feet. He had a bit of a miscalculation, but that's why they call it high-risk offense, folks. You do run that risk. And now look at this. Ziggler with the splash into the corner as he takes Bryan out. Edge trying to crawl back to his feet. Ziggler continuing to attack Daniel Bryan. You want to keep both your opponents down if you want to try to go for a pinfall or submission. Because, as we've seen with Daniel Bryan, if you don't take out that third man, he's just going to get involved and break up the pin. As now Bryan unleashing a flurry of kicks to the chest of Edge here. And now measuring him for a boot to the head. And that one could knock you silly. And now Bryan going after Ziggler here. Oh, Ziggler is sent careening into the corner. Ducks a clothesline, does Bryan. And now flying elbow right to the chest of Dolph Ziggler's. Edge was looking to get a steel chair involved. Bryan's having none of that. As now Bryan's sent into the corner. Edge placing him up on that top rope. Bryan counters, though, as he kicks Edge off, and a flying missile dropkick from the top rope, taking down Edge. And now Bryan delivers a nice punch to the face of Ziggler, and he sends him flying to the outside. Ziggler sprawling out to the floor, and Daniel Bryan, oh, he could be looking high risk once again, as he's building up a full head of steam, bounces off the ropes, and a suicide dive through the ropes, taking out the world champion Dolph Ziggler. But now Edge, while both his opponents have just suffered severe damage from that move, Edge is looking to capitalize, sending Bryan right into those steel steps. And now Edge just assaulting Daniel Bryan here on the outside. Of course, triple threat matchup, there cannot be a pinfall or submission outside the ring. It has to be inside the ring. This isn't a Falls Count Anywhere matchup, so there won't be a decision while these men are on the outside. But meanwhile, Dolph Ziggler could be looking to finish Edge off as we're back in the ring. Zigzag from Ziggler, and Bryan stops his attempted pinfall. Could be looking to go for a pin on Ziggler here. 2 count, but a kick out by Dolph Ziggler. Edge, he's I don't even think he knows where he is right now. But Ziggler, he can't capitalize, and because Daniel Bryan's there, that's always the threat of the third man, as Bryan takes Ziggler down with a hatch suplex. Ziggler trying to get back in it, but now Bryan with a back suplex, taking him down. And now Bryan sending Edge into the corner. As Daniel Bryan, he's truly been on the offensive for a good portion of this matchup, as he sends the knee right into the gut of Edge. Bryan going to the top rope, but Ziggler sneaks in for the cover. Ziggler's got him. 2 count. Dolph Ziggler retains the World Heavyweight Championship, ladies and gentlemen. And after he hit that zigzag, Edge never really could recover. And Daniel Bryan, he was looking to go to the top rope, but that gave Ziggler his moment of opportunity. And Bryan, by the time he realized what was going on, it was already too late. Ziggler, he already got the 3 count, and he retains the World Heavyweight Championship. But Daniel Bryan here tonight, he truly brought the fight to both of his opponents. And this really was back and forth between all 3 of these men. Edge at one point, it seems like he was more the punching bag throughout this matchup, but I guess that's the case when you try to make enemies like Edge did. You're going to paint a target on your back. Bryan and Ziggler obviously had a lot to gain from, they had their vendetta, like I said earlier, with Edge. They all have their personal history, and Edge, well, that came back to bite him in the end. And because of that, he was the one who took the pin. Really, what else would you have expected? Edge, he assaulted Bryan and Ziggler. Of course, he's going to be the one that they turn their focus to. But that is it for this matchup. Dolph Ziggler, yet again, he retains the World Heavyweight Championship. His title reign will continue. And, well done. He definitely does deserve praise. It was a triple threat matchup. The odds were stacked against Ziggler, but he was able to overcome the odds and score the win, as we now move on to the second to last matchup of the evening. This one is, of course, to determine the #1 contender for the WWE Championship at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. We've got our Fatal 4-Way set to take place later on tonight following this matchup, but we're about to find out who is going to be facing the winner of that Fatal 4-Way at Money in the Bank. Will it be this man, the Superman of WWE, John Cena, or will it be his opponent, the world's strongest man, the former World Heavyweight Champion, the former King of SmackDown, Mark Henry? Of course, John Cena, he is a former WWE Champion in his own right. In fact, he is a former 2-time WWE Champion, of course, defeating Dean Ambrose back at Night of Champions, then losing the belt to The Undertaker, but winning it back from Taker. So Cena looking to perhaps become a 3-time WWE Champion at Money in the Bank. And of course, he's got a rivalry with CM Punk, but of course, he's also garnered some heat in the locker room backstage at SmackDown from guys like Sheamus, Wade Barrett. All the SmackDown originals. And at the top of the list, we've got this man, Mark Henry, the world's strongest man. And, well, Mark Henry, he is a dominant force in that ring. He is just a monster. Of course, his reign of dominance back in WWE 2K14 and even into the early season of this year, Mark Henry just dominating in 2014, taking out the likes of Chris Jericho, Sheamus, and I'm forgetting my list here. Christian, Rey Mysterio, Randy Orton, and then, of course, in the Elimination Chamber, he was finally dethroned from his pedestal. And, of course, Mark Henry, he won the King of the Ring tournament back at Night of Champions. He ended up defeating The Undertaker in the final round of the tournament. I mean, Mark Henry, he's got a long list of people that he inducted into the Hall of Pain. And his Hall of Pain has certainly taken a hit over the past recent months. I mean, since he lost the world title, he just hasn't quite been able to get back up to that top spot, back in, you know, the perfect form he once had. But tonight, he's looking to bring it all back to its former glory. He's looking to bring back the Hall of Pain with a vengeance. Perhaps open up a new wing in the Hall of Pain. And he's looking to make John Cena the first inductee as he sends Cena back. Sidewalk slam right there, taking Cena down. And this will be a case of a power versus power matchup. Although John Cena, he'd be better off if he tries to utilize more of his speed. Maybe perhaps go to the top rope for that diving leg drop. That is certainly a possibility. As Mark Henry obviously is going to have the power advantage in this matchup. He is the world's strongest man after all. They don't call him that for nothing. But John Cena, we've seen his Superman-like feats of strength before, so it wouldn't surprise me if he's able to lift Mark Henry up there and put him down with an attitude adjustment. But then again, I mean, these two have faced off before. They have history with each other. Cena has beaten Henry before, but Mark Henry has also defeated John Cena. In fact, their last confrontation on Main Event several months ago, Mark Henry defeated John Cena. As now Cena sent into the corner, and a backdrop right there to John Cena. But of course, we can also go back to the season finale of 2K14, back when both of these men were world champions on their respective show, and John Cena did defeat Mark Henry on that occasion. Although seemingly these past several months, John Cena has also fallen from his former glory. He has really slipped down the ranks since losing the WWE title, then losing his contendership to CM Punk prior to WrestleMania. Oh, what a headbutt from Henry. And then being drafted over here to SmackDown, Cena really has had to start with a clean slate since being drafted to the new show. Nice hip toss to Henry. And now he picks Henry up from behind. Look at Cena here, looking for that half Nelson neck breaker, and he connects. Looking to put Henry away with that one as he goes for the cover, but Mark Henry's foot under the bottom rope. That is a rope break, ladies and gentlemen. And now John Cena, he's got him up on his shoulders here. Attitude adjustment, attitude adjustment. He could finish off Henry right now. 2, 3, no. Just barely a kick out at the last second by Mark Henry. And I gotta say, that was a close call for Mark Henry. Another one of those, and he might not be getting up. But now Henry delivers a kick to the back of John Cena. But Cena now punch to the skull of Mark Henry. But now it's a counter again. Back and forth these two men go. And Mark Henry tossed back in the ring by John Cena. And now Cena going to work on the head, the neck of Mark Henry there. But Henry back to his feet. And it's going to take a lot to keep Mark Henry down. We have definitely seen that in the past, that Mark Henry is no easy man to topple. He is like a mountain. You got to hit him with everything you've got and then some. And John Cena has witnessed that firsthand. He knows what he has to do to finish Henry off. But Henry, again, just using his head as a weapon, just with that vicious headbutt. But Cena, again, back to his feet. He's managing to hold his own here. But Mark Henry could perhaps just be a matter of time before he finishes Cena off. But Cena continues to fight. Delivers a DDT now to Henry. But you can see both men are down. This is taking a lot out of John Cena to deliver this kind of punishment. Into the cover. 2 count. Could have him. No, a kick out. As Henry just able to get the shoulder up at 2. But John Cena, you know, it's not easy to lift Henry up on your shoulders for that attitude adjustment. Certainly is going to take a lot out of him. Take a lot of effort out of John Cena. A lot of strain on his body. But he manages to once again put Henry down. Now in the center of the ring. Could perhaps be looking to set him up for the 5-knuckle shuffle. But Mark Henry could see John Cena. And, well, he kicked him straight square in the face with his boot. And now Cena trips him out there. And Henry sent crashing face first to the mat. But wow, Mark Henry, I mean, Cena thought he had him, thought he was setting him up for that 5-knuckle shuffle. Henry, though, he was having none of that. And now just throwing Cena down to the floor. Oh, and look at this. Cena's going to be in a whole lot of trouble if he gets hit with this. Mark Henry has him set up here for the world's strongest slam. And now for the cover. But John Cena's foot was able to reach under the bottom rope. And that might have been the one thing that saved John Cena in this matchup. I mean, Mark Henry, if he had had better positioning off that world's strongest slam, he could have finished him off. But here we go, another cover and another kick out by Henry. This is what we tend to see between these two men every time they're in the ring. It's very back and forth. Oh, but John Cena now could be looking for yet another attitude adjustment. This could be the finishing blow. The final nail in Henry's coffin as he hooks the leg. 1, 2, 3. That is it, folks. John Cena has just earned himself a date with destiny. Mark it on the calendars. Money in the Bank. It will be John Cena challenging the winner of our Fatal 4-Way later on tonight for the WWE Championship. And it certainly was no easy task for John Cena to win this matchup tonight. It took everything he had. I don't even think Cena's got anything left in the tank after this matchup. Every time we see these two men face off, it's bound to be a very physical, very exhausting contest for both of the combatants. But in the end, John Cena, he just had more left in the tank. He had enough left in him to endure the pain, the punishment, and lift Henry back up on the shoulders for that second attitude adjustment. Well, John Cena, if he does that at Money in the Bank, he will walk out as the WWE Champion. But can he get it done? Can John Cena, can he resurrect his career one final time? Can he once more become WWE Champion? Does he have it in him? All these questions will be answered next month at Money in the Bank. But for now, we gotta find out who is gonna be facing John Cena at Money in the Bank. Will it be Roman Reigns, Wade Barrett, Sheamus, or CM Punk, the current WWE Champion, who is about to make his way down to the ring for our main event here at Payback? It is finally here. We've made it through the 8 matches previously, and we are finally arriving now at the main event. And CM Punk, he's making his way down to the ring, set to take on 3 other men to defend that WWE Championship. This is going to be perhaps the most difficult title defense CM Punk has ever had in his career up to this point. Although he is a 2-time WWE Champion, he has beaten the likes of Chris Jericho, Brock Lesnar, Wade Barrett, Sheamus, and heck, CM Punk even holds a victory or 2 over John Cena. And yes, it was a long road for CM Punk before he was finally able to defeat John Cena, but he's done it. He has beaten Cena in the past, but he might not even get the chance to face Cena because he's got to go through 3 other men here tonight. And while we saw Ziggler was able to retain the title in the triple threat conditions, but this is just going to be even more difficult for CM Punk to try to overcome, as he is not facing, he's facing more than 2 men. He's facing 3 other men, decreasing his chances of winning to a 4th. He's got a 25% chance of walking out with the WWE title, but he has a 75% chance of losing. As well as that, I mean, Dolph Ziggler, he at least had a 33% chance. But then again, Ziggler, he managed to, that's less than half, but he managed to score the win nonetheless. Not sure if CM Punk is going to be able to defy the odds, though. I mean, he's got some game competition here tonight. I mean, look at this man, Wade Barrett. He challenged CM Punk for the title back at Extreme Rules, and true, he came up short, but he did bring the fight to CM Punk, and he even hit him with a bullhammer for good measure. And then we've got Sheamus, who CM Punk defeated at Over the Limit, but Sheamus certainly has been one of the most dominant contenders we have seen in recent memory. And then we've got this man, the wild card in this whole situation, Roman Reigns. Because Roman Reigns, he came to CM Punk's aid and saved him from the numbers game advantage that Sheamus and Barrett had. But, Roman Reigns, I mean, since coming to SmackDown, he was formerly a member of The Shield, used to being, used to having that numbers game himself. He's not too used to the singles competition. However, he is a former United States champion, which he didn't hold the title very long. It was a little under a month. But nonetheless, Roman Reigns did win a Fatal 4-Way of his own back at No Way Out to win the United States Championship. Perhaps, history will repeat itself and Roman Reigns could win yet another Fatal 4-Way, but this time with so much more on the line. And then finally we have this man, the Celtic Warrior Sheamus, who has he's just been on the destructive path. He's taken down the likes of Randy Orton, CM Punk himself even. Sheamus, he's been attacking everybody. Anyone who gets in his way, whether it's Wade Barrett at one point, CM Punk, Roman Reigns. Sheamus, he wants that WWE title. He doesn't want to be left behind by all this new blood that has come over to SmackDown. Sheamus, he's a SmackDown original. He was the first ever World Heavyweight Champion in Universe Mode, and in fact, he is a former 3-time World Heavyweight Champion here in Universe Mode. Yes, he has held the most championships in Universe Mode, winning that world title 3 times, but he has never been the WWE Champion, and he could perhaps look to win his first WWE title here tonight at Payback. And here we go. The match is underway. Wade Barrett and Roman Reigns going at it, trading blows back and forth. Sheamus and CM Punk renewing their feud from last month as well here as Sheamus takes down CM Punk. And Sheamus as well, he brought the fight to CM Punk at Over the Limit, although Punk was surprisingly able to dispatch him without too much difficulty. I feel as though Barrett actually put up more of a fight than Sheamus did in their pay-per-view singles encounters with CM Punk. And I'm sure that's weighing over Sheamus's mind at the moment. It just wasn't his night at Over the Limit. He was unable to deliver in the clutch moments, and perhaps that'll just increase his drive that much more to win the WWE title here tonight. As, look at this, snapmare takedown, and now a kick to the back by CM Punk. And Roman Reigns, he's looking to drop Barrett here, the backbreaker, but a counter from Barrett, and he delivers a backbreaker of his own. And now it looks like Sheamus and Barrett trying to double-team Reigns, but Punk isn't going to allow that to happen. Think about it. If Reigns gets taken out of this matchup, what is going to stop Barrett and Sheamus from double-teaming CM Punk? And the same can be said for CM Punk. If Punk gets taken out, Reigns is going to be a victim of a double-team. And, the same goes for Barrett or Sheamus. I'm sure Reigns and Punk, I feel like it would be a little less I don't know, because Barrett and Sheamus, while they are a tag team, they are more of an alliance than they used to be. They do have their personal history with each other. And they've got their own egos as well, so I don't really know if any of these alliances would be able to stand the test of this matchup, especially while the WWE Championship is hanging in the balance. But this match continues to go on. Punk now a Northern Light suplex to Sheamus, and for some reason there's a rope break and a Fatal 4-Way. I don't understand that, but nonetheless, we continue. This referee, whatever sort of the match conditioning he does, I don't know exactly what his logic is, but Barrett takes Reigns down with a DDT there, countering Reigns' attempted powerbomb. Of course, that powerbomb is one of Reigns' more signature maneuvers, formerly the triple powerbomb of the Shield, but nonetheless, his own powerbomb is just as effective. Oh, Sheamus trying to take Punk down, but Punk kicks him off, able to create some distance here. And now he throws Sheamus there into the corner, headbutt to the back of the head of Wade Barrett, and now a hip toss as he takes him down. And this match is going to be even more difficult to try to keep up with the action because there are 4 superstars in the ring, which means that there's going to be 2 brawls going on at once, as there's the winds of change from Wade Barrett into the cover, 1, but a kick out by Reigns at 1. Oh, and now Sheamus. Well, it looked like he was going to try to powerbomb Wade Barrett there, and while this certainly has broken down the 2 sets of alliances leading into this one, that being the alliance between Sheamus and Barrett, Reigns and Punk, both have broken down at this point, as Reigns a Superman punch to CM Punk, taking out the WWE Champion, could win the title right here and now, but a kick out at 2 by Punk. Sheamus now a backbreaker to Barrett, and now Sheamus with the cover here, and Reigns, he must have perhaps caught a bit of the, I can't think of the word, never mind. Slap to the face from Punk. What disrespect being shown there to Wade Barrett. As now Reigns takes Sheamus down. Punk has Barrett in the corner yet again, but Barrett counters with a big boot and went for the running right hand, but Punk counters again. As CM Punk now dragging Wade Barrett. Oh, is he going to put him up to those ropes perhaps? Looking to get him out of this ring. Try to leave it to just a three-man matchup. Oh, no, wait. Barrett dumped to the outside. Sheamus counters Roman Reigns and now drives the shoulders into the corner. Oh, and I know what CM Punk's going to do here. Shades of Daniel Bryan in the triple threat. Looking for the suicide dive. Oh, but Barrett caught him. Barrett caught him with the right hand. And Punk's momentum really drove him into that one. Could perhaps be sparking his own downfall here. As Barrett and Reigns again back at it. We're back where we started. Barrett versus Reigns. Sheamus versus Punk. As counter for counter between Reigns and Barrett. As Punk now tosses Sheamus into the corner. And now perhaps looking to hang him up here in the ropes with this submission maneuver. And of course, since apparently there's rope break in a fatal four-way, Punk has to break the hold. And now a kick to the back of the head of Sheamus. And I mean, man, this has been a long commentary, so I do apologize if my voice starts to kind of match up. But hey,
It's been nearly 2 hours, and we're still going strong, baby. This is the main event. This is for all the marbles. Got to be able to keep up with this. As we see now, Sheamus drops an elbow onto Barrett. But Reigns going back after Sheamus here. Powers him up. Samoan drop by Roman Reigns. Look at the power, the strength of Roman Reigns and the height on that Samoan drop. Northern Light suplex to Barrett. But Barrett kicks out at 2. Oof, that was a close one there. Punk almost snuck in there for the win. And now again, a second Northern Light suplex here, but Barrett's foot under the bottom rope. And that's a rope break. And now Punk and Reigns, they're going to go back at it. Reigns delivers a kick to the gut. And now a running clothesline. And he even caught Wade Barrett there. He just managed to graze him with the clothesline, but he definitely caught Punk square in the jaw. But right now, Barrett, he's back to his feet. Punk able to counter whatever Reigns was going for there. And now Punk has him in the headlock there, but he pushes him off, perhaps looking to change targets here. And Sheamus, you can see he's out on his feet. And Punk is looking to go after Sheamus. Nice snap suplex there, as Barrett also taking Reigns down with a suplex of his own. Barrett now, again, winds of change to Roman Reigns. And we could have the new WWE Champion right now. 1, 2, but a kick out again by Roman Reigns. And now Punk, well, he sees Barrett's the threat. He's looking to try to slow him down, as Sheamus now collides with both Punk and Barrett there with that clothesline. Punk throws Sheamus into the corner now. And Sheamus is in trouble. You don't want to be in the corner when you're fighting CM Punk, because CM Punk, he'll catch you with some of his patented signature maneuvers like the running knee, and then into the bulldog, or maybe even just knee you in the gut and set you up for that tribute elbow drop. Shades of the Macho Man Randy Savage. But Reigns, he tosses. Oh, look at this. Now he's got Sheamus up for an electric chair. As Reigns, he continues to just outpower his opponents here. That is certainly an advantage that Reigns holds in this matchup. He can just outmuscle everybody in this matchup. And then we've got CM Punk, who's definitely the most technical here in this matchup. And obviously, if he goes for those submission holds, you know, you'll be caught in quite a predicament. Although submission holds are not, you know, the best. They typically don't work as well in these multi-man matches because you have that third man who's able to break it up. Your opponent, really, they just have to, if they can hang on long enough for that other man to get in and break it up, well then, I mean, you're kind of stuck. And then you spent all that energy trying to force your opponent to submit, only for it not to work. So typically we don't see too many submission holds in these. Oh wait, a bullhammer elbow from Barrett right to the face of Reigns, and now Punk with a devastating kick to the back of Barrett's head. But Reigns, he's getting time to recover here because Punk is too busy taking out Barrett. Sheamus looking to perhaps pick up the pieces and try to get the win right now as he rolls Reigns over for the cover. 1, 2, no, not a 2 count. Reigns able to kick out. And granted, he did have plenty of time to recover, and that's what happens in these multi-man matches. You got to take out your other opponents, and that will buy your, you know, the man who took the damage, it'll buy him time to recover. Barrett now sweeps Sheamus' legs out and takes him down with almost like a skull-crushing finale, just that face buster. Covered by Punk, and Reigns breaks it up at 2. And now Superman punch to Sheamus. as Roman Reigns, he's just going at it full throttle right now. Oh, and Roman Reigns could be setting Sheamus up for the finishing blow. Could be looking for the spear here. He picks him up. Barrett with a bullhammer to CM Punk. And that could put the WWE Champion out of it here. Oh, but no. Wait a minute. What the heck is Reigns looking to do? Clothesline sending Sheamus over the top rope. Punk is back to his feet now. And oh my god. Roman Reigns, you gotta be kidding me! Roman Reigns! A suicide dive over the top rope. Roman Reigns absolutely launching himself. And he may have taken both of them out of this matchup. Roman Reigns just absolutely just put his body on the line there. And, well, now I think he might pay the price for it. Barrett and Punk, the lone two in the ring. Sheamus and Reigns, they're down on the outside. Reigns, he might have even taken more out of himself. Elbow drop from Barrett. He might have taken more out of himself than he was planning to. And now Barrett with the cover. Could have a new WWE Champion, but a kick out at 2 by Punk. But wow, I mean, what a turn of events this is. As now we're down to just Punk and Barrett in the ring. There's the Shining Wizard to the face, and a clothesline to follow it up from CM Punk. And now Punk with the cover, center of the ring. Could he retain? Not quite yet, as Barrett kicks out at 2.5. But wow. Oh! Shot to the gut there from Barrett. Punk perhaps looking to try to slap Barrett in the face once more. And a spine buster from Barrett. And Wade Barrett now, I mean, this is his opportunity. This is his opportunity of a lifetime to become WWE Champion. Setting him up for the bullhammer. Oh, but Punk just ducks underneath. Now CM Punk, he's got Barrett in trouble. Reigns and Sheamus, they have not moved. They are still down out here on the outside at ringside. And CM Punk, oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute, off the top rope, a Frankensteiner. Sending Barrett crashing down to the center of the ring. And CM Punk now, he's looking for the finishing blow. He's looking to finish him off here with the go to sleep. The GTS. He's got him up on his shoulders here. Barrett not in a good place. Oh, wait a minute. Barrett counters. Barrett counters it into a DDT. And the crowd, they are on their feet. They are loving this matchup. Wade Barrett, he's just moments away. If he can hit him with one more big move, I think he's got this matchup in the bag. Oh, and he's looking to do something big here. Oh, but Punk counters. Kicks him off. And now look at this. Oh, a blockbuster. A blockbuster off the top by CM Punk. And now CM Punk, he's looking for the go to sleep yet again. And yeah, yep, you can see right there, he's signaling this is the end. Oh, and Barrett, you're in trouble. Can he counter this one? No, it does not look like that's the case. CM Punk connecting with the go to sleep. And that one busted Barrett wide open. You can see the blood. The wounds left from that go to sleep. I mean, Barrett, he is out of it. He's out cold. CM Punk, if he can just get him to the center of the ring and cover him, he's got the win. But he's not doing that. What is Punk doing? Oh, he's not done yet. He wants to make sure that he ends this matchup and makes a statement to John Cena. See you at Money in the Bank. And he's going to force Barrett to tap out here with the Anaconda Vice. Barrett trapped, center of the ring. Sheamus and Reigns nowhere in sight. And Wade Barrett taps out. CM Punk retains the WWE Championship. Wow, what a main event that was right there, folks. You can see some highlights from the matchup as Punk, he tried to go for his suicide dive, but that wasn't going to happen. And then you see right there, Roman Reigns just absolutely launching himself. In the end, not only did he take out Sheamus, but he took himself out of the match as well. And then it came down to just these two men, Punk and Barrett. And it was the Anaconda Vice off the go to sleep. Barrett, he was caught center of the ring. There was nothing he could do. There was nobody to save him. And CM Punk, he wins. And he retains the WWE title. Wow, what a main event that was here at Payback. I hope you enjoyed this pay-per-view. And if you stuck it out for the entire video, be sure to let me know down in the comment section below by using the comments USA. That's right, I just read that sign. I didn't have anything in mind, but yes, USA. Leave the comment down below if you stuck it out for the entire pay-per-view. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your continued support on the series, and I hope you enjoyed Payback. And make sure to stay tuned for the Fallout next episode. Keep on YouTubing.